halls of the house echo with the sound of incantations. Zaina is sacrificed, her life force stolen to ensure Mr. Kura's continued prosperity. As her blood spills onto the cold concrete floor, her scream is silenced, but her spirit remains. The mansion becomes the site of her burial, her body encased within its very foundation, bound by dark forces.
Please kindly subscribe to our channel below to support our creativity.
In the bustling Owolabi slum, 9-year-old Zaina is the definition of resilience. Her mother is ill, and her younger brother, Job, is too small to help, leaving Zaina to bear the weight of their survival. Daily, she wakes up early to set up a small mango stand in the heart of the marketplace. Her mangoes are the best in the neighborhood, and despite the hardships, she is proud of her work. As the sun sets and the market empties, Zaina's dream is to save enough money to move her family into a better place, away from the slum's dust and despair. But Zaina's world is about to change forever. One hot afternoon, a well-dressed stranger approaches her stand. His name is Mr. Kura, a wealthy businessman who sees an opportunity in the young girl's innocence. He claims to want to buy her entire stock of mangoes for a generous price. Flattered, Zaina agrees without hesitation. But Mr. Kura has more in mind than just buying fruit. He offers her an even more enticing deal. Come with him to his mansion, and he'll ensure her family never has to suffer again. Desperate for any escape from their poverty, Zaina follows him, unaware of the fate awaiting her. Zaina follows Mr. Kura to an abandoned part of the slum, where half-finished buildings loom like silent witnesses. The mansion that Mr. Kura calls home is not the sprawling estate she imagined. Instead, it is dark, eerie, and filled with an unsettling silence. Inside, she meets Juju Priest, an intimidating figure who seems to control the atmosphere in the house. Zaina is confused, but doesn't question Mr. Kura. He assures her everything is fine. As she stands in a dimly lit room, the priest begins chanting in an ancient language, and Zaina feels her body grow cold, her pulse quickening. She tries to run, but it's too late. Mr. Kura, with a chilling smile, forces Zaina into a corner, holding her still as the priest prepares the ritual. As Mr. Kura walks away, satisfied with his wealth, he has no idea that a curse has begun. The mansion is completed. A symbol of wealth and success, it becomes a beacon for the rich and powerful. Yet beneath the polished surface lies a darkness that no one can see, except for the land itself. Zaina's spirit is bound to the house, and the curse starts to take hold. The mansion seems to be perfect, but something is wrong. At night, the walls groan and the floors creak, as if the house itself is alive. People feel uneasy within its confines, as though they are being watched, but none can say what it is. Unbeknownst to its new owners, the house has a terrible secret, a secret that is just waiting to be discovered. Years later, the mansion is sold to a group of families seeking to escape the crowded slums. Dayo, a young lawyer, moves in with his wife, Ngozi, and their daughter, Chika. The new life is supposed to be a fresh start, but the house feels unsettling from the beginning. The couple dismisses the strange occurrences, the flickering lights, the strange smells, as mere coincidence. However, they begin to hear whispers at night, voices that seem to come from nowhere. Mr. Adedeji, an elderly tenant who lives alone, becomes increasingly disturbed by the strange sounds in the house. He reports seeing a young girl in his room at night, a girl with glowing eyes and a look of pure sorrow he has never seen again after that night. One night, Dayo hears a whisper at exactly 1 a.m. A voice, soft, saying, "Where is my money?" He brushes it off as a figment of his imagination. But then, the whisper repeats, night after night. His wallet is mysteriously emptied, and items begin to vanish from his apartment. Dio starts to feel the weight of something strange surrounding the house. He confides in Ngozi, but she is too frightened to believe him. Strange noises at night, objects moving of their own accord. It seems like the house is watching them. To make matters worse, Zaina's ghost begins to leave rotten mangoes at their doorstep, a sign that the curse has started to affect them. The tenants grow paranoid as the strange happenings intensify. One by one, they begin to experience the same terrifying whispers, the same inexplicable events. Even the pets start acting funny, growling at empty spaces, barking at shadows. The entire house seems alive. Its every creak and groan like a whisper from the dead. Ngozi becomes convinced that something is wrong, but Dio is determined to uncover the truth. The situation worsens when Mr. Adedeji is discovered missing. His room is found in disarray, and the last thing he ever said was that he saw a girl in his room, Zaina, the girl who died in the mansion's foundation. Dio decides to seek help from Pastor Oluwaseyun, a local priest with a reputation for dealing with spirits. When the priest arrives at the mansion, he immediately senses the oppressive energy in the air. He begins a ritual to cleanse the house, but it is clear that the curse is far more powerful than they anticipated. After performing a spiritual search, the priest uncovers the horrifying truth. Zaina, the young girl, was murdered in the very spot where the house now stands. Her blood was spilled to ensure the success of Mr. Kura. Zaina's restless spirit has been bound to the house, and the curse will not be broken until her death is avenged. Terrified and desperate, the tenants begin to flee the house. No one can endure the torment any longer, and one by one they abandon their homes, leaving behind everything they've worked for. The mansion that once promised luxury now stands empty, a shell of its former self. As the last tenants leave, the house seems to sigh, as though it is satisfied. But Zaina's spirit remains, trapped in the very foundation, her curse still in place. Meanwhile, Mr. Kura continues to live his life in lavish luxury, unaware that Zaina's curse is still at work. His businesses flourish, his wealth increases, but as time passes, strange occurrences begin to plague him. At night, he hears faint whispers.
Where is my money?
At first, he dismisses it as paranoia, but then his wealth begins to disappear. His bank accounts dwindle, his investments crash, and his once thriving businesses falter. Desperate, he tries to control the situation, but the whispers grow louder. The strange occurrence is more intense. His servants leave in fear, and soon he is alone. Zaina's ghost appears before him one night, her face twisted in anger.
You owe me.
She cries. You took my life for your gain, and now you will pay. On the night of the full moon, Zaina's ghost appears before Mr. Kura, fully manifesting. The air around them is heavy with the weight of her vengeance. The walls of the house tremble as Zaina confronts him. The house begins to collapse, as if the very foundation is protesting the greed that built it. Mr. Kura screams in terror, but it is too late. The curse has reached its final stage. His wealth crumbles, his body shrivels, and he dies in fear. His last breath, a scream that echoes through the mansion. Mr. Kura's death is ruled mysterious, though those who knew him understand the truth. His body is found in his mansion, his face frozen in terror. The mansion stands as a silent witness to his demise, and the legacy of his greed is buried with him. Zaina's curse has been fulfilled. Her spirit is at peace, but the mansion remains. Her vengeance has been exacted, and she has claimed the life that was stolen from her. After Mr. Kura's death, the government attempts to demolish the mansion. But no matter how many times they try, the machinery fails, and the workers refuse to go near it. The mansion stands as a ghost of its former self, a symbol of the curse that lingers within its walls. The house becomes an enduring legend, a warning to anyone who dares to seek wealth at the expense of others. Though the mansion is abandoned, the whispers of "Where is my money?" still echo at exactly 1 a.m. Every night, those who dare approach the house report hearing the voice of Zaina, still seeking justice. Her restless spirit lives on, forever tied to the place where her life was taken. The mansion stands as a testament to her vengeance, a haunting reminder that greed never goes unpunished.